Before this video review gets started, I would like to point out this disclaimer. None of the merchandise or products that I am showing in my videos are for sale, giveaway, or trade. If you like what I am showing within these videos, you can go ahead and purchase your own item. If it is a custom item, then you will need to make that yourself. If you can't buy or make your own version of the products that I am showing in my videos, that is too bad because you are not getting mine. So please do not ask me if you can have any of the items that I show within my review videos, because the answer is going to be no. Thank you, and please enjoy the review. Hello there guys, and welcome to another LEGO minifigure review video. Although, in this case, I am looking over something that I don't think is officially from LEGO. I think that what I am looking at are bootleg minifigures. It's not often that I even get anything that is bootleg. If you don't know what that is, a bootleg is basically when someone or some sort of toy company actually produces toys that are based on some sort of television show or another toy line. Basically just trying to copy what another official toy line has done, you know, kind of unlicensed, you know, like they just take some sort of a franchise and make toys out of it without the consent of the owner. That's basically what a bootleg is. And in this case, I have gotten these minifigures on the Voltron Force from the original 1980s cartoon series called Voltron Defender of the Universe. Voltron has been around for quite a long time, and at some point in 2018, I believe, there was a LEGO Ideas Voltron that was made, an official one that was made officially by LEGO, and I did do a video review on that already, and I will also show off that Voltron along with these minifigures later on in this video. So let's take a look at each of these, shall we? Now, there is also this minifigure of Voltron, just a little minifigure of the giant robot himself. You know, what I was more focused on was the minifigures that are included here. So I'm going to go over those right now. First, I'm doing a little comparison with the stand pieces right here. These are the stand pieces that came with the minifigures, well, all the ones that came with the pilot minifigures. Here is an official LEGO stand piece, and comparing the two, you'll notice that this one has a little longer end to it than the official flat pieces do. The stand piece that came with the Voltron minifigure is more like the real ones. And I know it's hard to see on camera, but the official LEGO piece does include the word LEGO on each of the stud pieces, while the one on the bootleg piece does not. They do work together, even though one is a bootleg, and there's no information on the bottom, unlike the real minifigure plate pieces. Hard to see on camera, but I can see copyright 2009, the LEGO Group. There is not anything to see on this plate right here. So, that's kind of the thing with bootleg toys. They don't have any licensing info underneath them. I'm guessing that could be a way to try to keep themselves from getting caught for, just trying to claim something to be theirs. But I think sometimes they could actually put fake licensing info on them. Now, here are all 5 of the pilot figures, all in a row, and they all are wearing different colored suits. They are mostly the same figure, except for the colors of the suits, as well as the faces. I'm going to focus on this one right here. This is Keith. He is the pilot of the Black Lion. He wears a red uniform, and something that you may notice with these helmets is that they actually have kind of a, like with the official minifig helmets, there is that little border on the bottom, even though in the original Voltron series they did not have that. They didn't have anything underneath their faces on their original helmets. That may not be the case for the helmets that they've worn in subsequent Voltron series, but on these minifigures, they do have that, much like the official Voltron minifigures. And some of these headpieces were not put on all that straight when I was assembling these figures, but, managed to get that one straight ahead. And Keith has kind of a happy look, kind of the look of a leader. Since he is the leader of the Voltron Force, he is the pilot of the Black Lion. And all of them have these stud shooter pieces. They do work the same as the official licensed Lego minifigure shooters, both in function and in looks. So, that right there is Keith, pilot of the Black Lion. Next, here is Lance, the pilot of the Red Lion. He wears a blue uniform, and, he has a different face from Keith, kind of has a sort of smile. He is the second in command of the Voltron Force. And, there's not really anything else to say, because, he's the same as Keith, except for the color of the suit and the face. Here is Pidge, who is the pilot of Green Lion, and he wears a green uniform, and he also is shown to wear glasses, since he does in the actual show. I know that some people probably think that it's a bit inaccurate for him to be about the same height as the rest of the figures, because in the show he was a kid, he was the shortest of the group, although in the subsequent Voltron series, such as Third Dimension and Voltron Force, he is shown to be taller because he's supposed to have gotten older by that point. And if you've seen Legendary Defender, you would also know that they changed Pidge's gender to being a girl who actually dresses up as a boy, but it's not made clear for a couple of the first episodes. But in the original Voltron series, he is a male character. Next up is Allura, Princess Allura, the Princess of Eris. She is the pilot of Blue Lion, and she wears a pink uniform. And there's her face right there. Just has some eyelashes. Doesn't look too much different from some of the other figure faces that I've seen. But, there's that right there. And last but not least, here is Hunk. He is the pilot of the Yellow Lion. And quite oddly, this figure is shown to be wearing a yellow suit, even though he actually wore an orange suit in the original Voltron series. I guess it's kind of hard for some people to figure that out, because yellow and orange almost look very much alike. But in the the booklet that came in the LEGO Ideas Voltron, it does specifically say that Hunk does wear an orange suit. I bet that may be debated by fans as to what color his suit is supposed to be, but that instruction booklet from the LEGO Ideas Voltron says that he wore an orange suit, but this minifigure is shown to wear yellow. So I guess the people that made these figures did not pay that much attention to or look more into the color or what color suit he should be wearing. Now, of course, well, pretty much it can be said for all of these figures, but although most of them don't wear suits that color coordinate with their lions, such as, for example, Keith wears red but pilots the black lion. In some of the subsequent Voltron series, such as Third Dimension and Voltron Force, they do wear suits suits or colored clothes to match with their lions. And so, for example, in that series, Keith does wear black, since he pilots the black lion. And in Legendary Defender, at the start, they do wear the same colors as the lions they are piloting, but it is different. They are piloting different lions than what they did in the original series, at least until much later in the series, in which some of the pilots would switch out. Like, for example, Hunk and Pidge always piloted the same lion in Legendary Defender. And Hunk did wear yellow in that series, in contrast to the rest of the pilots, or paladins as they were called in that series, since he was piloting the yellow lion. And, this pretty much is a complete set of 5 Voltron pilot minifigures, but this series of minifigures did not include Sven, or as he's called in Legendary Defender, Shiro. If you don't know who that is, Sven, in the original Voltron series, he was the original pilot of Blue Lion before Allura took over, after he got himself injured by Hagar, the Wicked Witch that worked for Zarkon. While in Legendary Defender, this character's name was Shiro, and he was the pilot of the Black Lion, while Keith was pilot of Red Lion and Lance was pilot of Blue Lion. But then when Shiro disappeared at some point in the series, then some of the pilots just changed out with their lions, with Keith being chosen by the Black Lion to be its new pilot, and then Lance being accepted by Red Lion to be its new pilot, and then Allura takes over for piloting the Blue Lion after Lance moves to the Red Lion. So, yeah, very different stories between versions, but it certainly is a good way to explain why most of the pilots did not color match with their lions. Well, there isn't an explanation given in the original Voltron series as to why most of the pilots did not color coordinate with their lions, but in Legendary Defender, it was because they weren't the lions that they were piloting at first. So it was good that they actually came up with some sort of explanation there. Now, here I have the official LEGO Voltron Lions with their respective pilots. Here is the Red Lion with Lance, and here's Blue Lion with Allura, Black Lion with Keith, Yellow Lion with Hunk, and Green Lion with Pidge. And, as you can see, Lance, Allura, and Keith don't color coordinate, but that is how it was in the original Voltron series. And, yeah, as many of you may have guessed, there's, no way to get the minifigures into the Lions, because the designer of the Lego Voltron did not provide any means of getting any minifigures to get inside of the lions. Now, something you could do is actually create maybe a sort of Lego stage, kind of a custom cockpit, but, you know, that would only be if you were doing some stop motions with the Lego Voltron lions. Just creating some sort of a kind of a custom cockpit for the pilots to go into, although they wouldn't actually be in the lions. It would just be some sort of a just kind of to give an illusion of what the cockpits could look like if they were actually in the lions. But you know, this is pretty much the best that we can get with, you know, putting the minifigures with their respective lions. Now here is the minifigure of Voltron. You know, just kind of a basic little minifigure just to show Voltron in minifigure form. Not quite sure what the whole point of this minifigure could be compared to the official Lego Ideas Voltron that we have. And I will do a comparison between this and the full Voltron in a moment, but as you can see, they've done the printing on the torso, you know, the torso with the black lion with the upper red chest and the white lower body, and also managed to get the a red arm for the red lion, and also a green arm for green lion. The hands are not in the same shape as the heads of the red and green lion, at least not on this minifigure. There's also, they did do printing for the blue and yellow lions, which form the legs. And yeah, the head of the helmet piece for Black Lion, this is actually two pieces. Can't quite get it to come apart, but take my word for it, it is actually two pieces that are just stuck together. And then there are the red wings of the Black Lion, and there's the blazing sword and the shield. Then the face of Voltron itself, there is actually supposed to be a nose, but it's kind of hard to tell. It's very hard to tell in person, but I bet it's especially hard to tell on camera. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see it all that well now, but it's very hard to see it unless you're looking at it up close. But that right there is the Lego minifigure Voltron, even though it is a bootleg minifigure. And there we have the minifigure Voltron standing right next to the full Lego Voltron, the large scale version. And I even have all of the pilots on each lion in this formation. Keith is up on the top, and Lance and Pidge are on the shoulders, since they pilot the lions that form the arms. And Allura and Hunk are on the feet, since they form the legs of Voltron. So that's a pretty good view of Voltron with all of its pilots, as well as its small-scale counterpart. Pretty good, I have to say. Really would have been good if Lego actually officially made minifigures of the pilots. I bet they would be a lot better than these bootlegs, but I guess the bootlegs will just have to do until or if any official minifigures ever get released. But anyway, that right there this right here was my review on the Lego Voltron minifigures, even if they were bootlegs. But, you know, they still were pretty impressive. I really liked how they all turned out, and I am generally happy that I now have minifigures for each of the lions. So that right there is my review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.